What's going to happen in Iowa? Well, it's a little early, but politics changes, but I'm going to make some stabs at it here. Have a nice lunch. I'm glad you tuned in. I believe that what's going on in Iowa now is that Gingrich is getting shelled and shellacked with $10 million of negative media. Everybody is running negative ads against Gingrich. Ron Paul is running the most. Romney is running just about as many. Perry has them on, Santorum, Bachman. Everybody is piling on poor old Newt. And he's taking a real pounding. And the problem is that Gingrich doesn't have a good organization and doesn't have any money. His rise was so recent, and he was so far down so recently, that he really didn't have time to build an organization or to raise money, and his lack of organization meant that he couldn't capitalize on his surge and raise money. So he has no money to answer these negative ads. If you like Newt, chip in some money, because he sure could use it now. But the point is that Gingrich is really taking a lot of flack, and at the moment that is moving Ron Paul way up. Paul is kind of the candidate du jour. You know, we had Bachman, and then we had Perry, and then we had Kane, and then we had Gingrich, and now it's Ron Paul's turn to be the moment in the sun. But unlike the others, he doesn't deserve the sun. He's an absolute screwball and a kook. This guy thinks we should denude our defenses in the war on terror, thinks we should legalize drugs and let the drug cartels do whatever they want. He says that we shouldn't mind if Iran gets the bomb, and if it uses against Israel, well, Israel will have to take care of itself. He wants to go back to the gold standard, for goodness sakes, which would mean that we'd have our hands tied, just like during the Great Depression. We couldn't expand the currency supply to get the economy moving. So, I mean, everybody is going to recoil in horror at the idea of Ron Paul having a serious chance at this nomination. So I think people are going to begin to attack Paul as opposed to Newt. And I think that that's going to drive Paul down a bit and move Newt up a bit. In any case, behind all of this is Romney, who is pretty steady in there at 20, 23, 25% of the vote, with a superb organization and lots of money. So at the moment, my bet is that Romney wins Iowa. Hard to predict at this point, but I think that may be the case. And I could be wrong, because everything can change over 2 weeks. I'll keep you posted as the developments multiply. And then I think that Romney undoubtedly goes on and wins New Hampshire. Does he then win the nomination? Is it a cakewalk? Because then what's going to happen is I think a buyer's remorse will set in. I think the same phenomenon that we've watched of other candidates moving up and Romney staying even will set in. And I think Newt will have a very good primary in South Carolina and get right back into it, and then I think Romney and Gingrich will fight it off down the road. The other possibility is that Ron Paul doesn't fall apart quickly, either wins Iowa or comes in a strong second to Romney. If that's the case, Romney will make short work of Paul in the subsequent primaries, and there may not be room for Gingrich to get back into the race. Remember, Bill Clinton got rid of Tsongas as a main adversary, and then beat up on Jerry Brown and got the nomination easily in '92. And in 1988, Mike Dukakis got rid of Al Gore, his real opponent, and then beat up on Jesse Jackson and got the nomination. And Kerry got rid of Edwards, his chief opponent, and then beat up on Howard Dean. So this phenomenon of a person that can't win, but temporarily moves up and permits the front runner to avoid his major challenger. Did you catch all that? Is kind of has happened a couple of times in our politics and might be happening now. So we'll have to stay tuned, but it's sure going to be an exciting Christmas season, and I'll be broadcasting every day over the lunch alerts. Fox is going to not have its usual anchors, so stay tuned on this.